Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're taking a look at the Sony RX100 VII, and here it is. Now, I've owned many RX100 cameras. I've owned the 3, 4, 5, 5A, I jumped to the 6 and now I've got the 7. Now, ordinarily I wouldn't have purchased the 7 because it's a really expensive camera and I couldn't justify well over £1,000 for a little compact camera. But I was able to pick this one up brand new at a fantastic price. I got it from John Lewis outlet shop here in Swindon, and they had it on sale, so I thought I'd buy it and I got it really good value. So here it is, the RX100 VII. I really like this camera. Weren't sure if I would, but I really do like this camera. The results from it are outstanding. I'm going to go through a few quick examples here on the results. It has a 20 megapixel 1-inch sensor in the camera, so the images are great and the video is great from the sensor. Now, obviously it's not as big as a micro four thirds sensor or certainly an APS-C or full frame sensor, so you're not going to get that lovely creamy bokeh that you'll find from a full frame sensor or APS-C sensor. But for a travel camera it is fantastic because it literally is a point and shoot camera. It has got your tilty-wilty screen, so if you are doing vlogging or you're doing selfies, great for that, no problem at all. And also it's great for me because I suffer with a bad back and a bad shoulder, so if I'm doing low angle shots, it's great that I can just tilt it up like that. I don't have to get on my hands and knees to actually take a photograph. The other thing that I really love from a photographic point of view with the RX100 range, it's a tilty-wilty screen and not a fully articulating screen. Now, when you're doing video, the articulating screen is awesome, and that's why I love the ZV-1. I'm using my ZV-1 over here. So that's got a 20 megapixel 1-inch sensor in it, but that has the articulating screen, and that's great for video because I use it as my close-up camera. I can see what I'm doing. I don't have to plug external monitors in. It's awesome. So but this one, for stills, I prefer a tilty-wilty screen because I prefer the screen to be behind the camera. I find that's more discreet, and I feel more comfortable with that, with taking photographs, when I do with an articulating screen. That's why I love my G8.6, which I've got here, my Panasonic G8.6. That's a micro four thirds camera. That's got both. The screen either tilts or it articulates. And I think that's a great design Panasonic have come up with. I'm using it in the articulation mode at the moment because I'm filming myself, and that is great. I'm looking at it now. I'm actually experimenting with the G8.6 and the SSD drive. I've got an SSD drive plugged into it as opposed to recording internally. It's just experimenting. Of course, the downside with that, I can't plug external power into the USB port of the G8.6, so that's something that I need to look at. But yeah, so that's the G8.6 over there with both the tilty and the articulating screen, where this little RX100 has the tilting screen. So it has got the 24-200 lens on this particular camera. It's equivalent to 24-200 in full frame terms. And I think that is great. Again, for a travel camera, what a great range you have there. On my little Ricoh GR3, which I have somewhere here, this one here has only got the fixed 28mm lens to it. How much more flexible this is to have a 24, equivalent to a 24-200 lens on. You've got a control ring around the lens. Now you can set that up for ISO, white balance, exposure compensation, aperture, whatever you might want to set it up for. That is great. It shoots HD and 4K if you're into video. Again, the 4K clips are limited to 5 minutes. That's to restrict overheating. But the HD can go up to 30 minutes. So, a great little camera if you want to grab, when you're out and about, you want to grab a few video clips, absolutely fantastic. They've actually incorporated in the side here a mic input, and that is awesome. There's a mic jack on this little camera, the first in the RX100 range to have a mic jack, and I think that is brilliant that they put a mic jack on the side there. Standard PASM dial on the top. Again, that's another big advantage with the RX100 range over the ZV-E1. The ZV-E1 is a lot more fiddly to get it into your photograph and video modes. This one isn't. You just literally turn that dial and then you're in either aperture priority, shutter priority, video, whatever it may be. It takes the same batteries as the ZV1. It's a little BX1 battery, and the SD card fits in the same slot as the battery. This is a third-party battery, but it's basically the same size battery, little tiny battery. Battery life is okay. All I would do is put a few extra batteries in your pocket when you go out and about. I mean, they're such tiny little batteries. You can shove them in your pocket. It's not a problem at all. You've got various buttons on the back here, which is great if you are into manually setting it up. I generally use it in either aperture priority or programmed automatic, believe it or not. And I find that for what I want to use it for, that is great. It has got your pop-up viewfinder. Now, I love this little viewfinder. Again, with the GR3 that I've been using, there's no viewfinder. You're completely reliant on the back of a screen. Now, that's okay in most conditions, but if it's really bright sunny conditions, the viewfinder is an absolute godsend, and I found that really useful the other day when I went out. It's really great to have this little viewfinder. Pops up automatically. Unlike the previous RX100 range, you had to pull it up, pop it up, then pull it out. This one doesn't. It's fully automatic. Do that and it pops up. And when you put it down, you can set it up to turn the camera off. I've got that mode turned off, so it doesn't turn the camera off. Does it all make sense? So yeah, built-in viewfinder on the RX100 Mark VII. The autofocus on this little camera is phenomenal, absolutely incredible. It's got similar features to the actual top of the range Sony A9 or the A9 Mark II, and it has got 357 phase detect autofocus points and 425 contrast detect autofocus points. So you're going to nail your focus without any issue whatsoever. And I'll go through some of the photographs here so you can actually see what I mean. But yeah, great little camera, great little travel camera. It's a bit slippery actually. I've fitted to it the little grip. You can buy extra. It's a shame you have to buy it extra, but you can buy extra this little rubber grip that fits on the camera, and that gives you much better grip. Otherwise it's quite slippery without the grip, so because it is a really compact little camera. It is a tiny little camera, but yeah, that's the Sony RX100 Mark VII. What we'll do now is go through some of the images that I've taken with this particular camera. Now these images will be up on my Flickr site, so take a look at them on my Flickr page. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can find the Flickr, my Flickr page. Yeah, we'll quickly go through them. The macro is great on it. And as I say, I was absolutely blown away by how good and impressive this 1-inch sensor is. And you know, that's a really close shot, but it has got bokeh. You can see it has thrown the background out of focus. And I weren't quite sure how well it would do that. But if you are shooting up quite close, then it does that quite nicely. I was really impressed. So, you know, if we zoom in on that, you can see the clarity of that is gorgeous. It is really good and really sharp. So again, you know, you zoom in tight on these wide angle images and they're really good. So if you do want to crop anything, then you can. Now this gives you an example. That's shot at wide, so that's shot at 24mm, and then from the same position that's at 200mm. So you can see, you know, how fantastic having that zoom lens is, and it is a tremendous zoom lens. That is excellent, isn't it? And if you zoom in tight on that, detail is very nice. You know, again here, detail is lovely. Brickwork there is excellent. I'm only spinning through these. There's no point in me going into any detail. I mean, YouTube's compression is too high to show you any detail, so you are best off looking at it on Flickr. Again, you know, clarity of that is beautiful. Again, that's tight shot, so you can see there that's wide and that's tighter. Look how clear the colours are. Very vivid, just absolutely superb. Detail on those leaves. You can clearly see what I mean, how, again, that's at the 24mm, that's at 200. you know, just the clarity. I'm not just going to keep harping on about it. I think you see what I mean. Again, there. Now that was literally grabbed out of my pocket. I didn't pre-focus. I didn't do anything. I just literally grabbed it out of my pocket and took the snap. And that's what it's, you know, great for doing. And it has got it pin sharp. I haven't had to muck around with it. I'm really, really impressed. So if you are in a situation where you want to grab a picture really quickly, the Sony RX100 Mark VII is your ideal camera for that. You see there, again, sharpness, clarity, very, very good. Put that in black and white, you can see, you know, yeah. Again, that's wide at the 24mm, and then from the same position, that's at 200mm. So, you know, you've got a lot of flexibility in one little camera. There may be many situations where you don't want to go out with your bigger DSLR or your bigger mirrorless camera. You can get the shot that you need using, you know, this little pocket camera. I've actually done a comparison between my Sony RX100 Mark VII that we have here to my Ricoh GR3, and I'm not sure if that'll be uploaded to my channel before this one or after this one, but if it is on the YouTube channel, take a look at it. And I think you'll be amazed how comparable in image quality these two are. And I didn't think they would be, because the Ricoh's got the bigger sensor. So there we go. That's my thoughts on the Sony RX100 Mark VII. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of my videos. Would really, really appreciate that. Helps me grow the channel. Thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography, podcasting, so on and so forth. Cheers for now. Bye.